And we're following developing news in the search for the kidnapped Nigerian schoolgirls. Nigeria's defense ministry says Cameroon has deployed 1,000 troops to the border with Nigeria. This after the defense chief said the military knows where the girls are, but will not attempt a rescue out of fear it could get the girls killed.
The good news for the girls is that we know where they are, but we cannot tell you. Okay, we cannot come and tell you military secrets here. Just leave us alone. We are working. We will get the girls back.
But where they are held, can we go with force? No. If we go with force, what will happen? So nobody should come and say the Nigerian military does not know what it is doing. We know what we are doing. We can't go and kill our girls in the name of trying to get them back.
NBC News Pentagon correspondent Jim Miklaszewski joins us. So, Mick, obviously the Nigerian government, it's military defensive. They're saying we know what we are doing, but this is not the right time to go in and get the girls. We also know U.S. personnel is there in a minor role. Do we know if the surveillance information locating the girls came from the U.S.?
Well, you know, first of all, that clip you played, the Nigerian defense chief sounding a little defensive there, and they are under an awful lot of pressure because according to military experts, it is one of the most poorly run, led, and functional militaries in the world, actually, and no match in many cases for Boko Haram. So they're under a lot of pressure. But I can tell you that U.S. officials say that there was no U.S. intelligence or surveillance information from those drones that have now been flying over Nigeria for well over a week and a half. U.S. military officials say they don't have any idea. Those surveillance drones have found no clues whatsoever as to the whereabouts from the girl. The most encouraging thing, perhaps, about what the defense chief had to say, leave us alone, we'll bring the girls back, suggests anyway that they may be in negotiations with Boko Haram for some kind of prisoner swap. After all, Boko Haram, the terrorist group that seized the girls, does have quite a few of their members in Nigerian prisons, so there could be a swap of them for the release of the schoolgirl hostages. But at this point, that's only a slight glimmer of hope. And everybody agrees with the defense chief, after all, that a military operation, according to U.S. military officials, is pretty much out of the question because of the size of the group. The 276 girls, perhaps, split up in different groups, would require, according to military sources, an invasion force to pull off, and the likelihood for success would be very low, and it could actually threaten the lives of the girls themselves, Tamara.
And quickly, Mick, back to this deal swap that may be in the works, some 50 girls in exchange for 100 Boko Haram prisoners. The BBC is reporting that deal fell apart. But if something like that were to take place, it seems that the world would be concerned in that Boko Haram has now, since the girls were taken, killed some 500 people and seems to shrug off what the global response has been in outrage to their actions.
Well, the global response to this is all steeped in the welfare of those girls. Look, it's terrible that they're in custody, but everybody that we've talked to who is very well versed in these kinds of operations feels that with the first sound of a helicopter or the first shots fired at any one of these many locations would sign a death certificate for so many of these girls. And so it appears, anyway, that negotiations and some kind of swap may be the best way out of that, but it's not clear that the Nigerian government can actually pull that off. It almost seems like everything is pretty much at a stalemate right now, and you're right. The whole world seems powerless at this point to do anything about it.
All right, Mick, thank you very much for those new details there. And today,